Greetings out there in YouTube land. This is Morris Man. As always, I thank you guys come to my channel. At this time, I'm not quite sure what I'm going to entitle this, but it'll be somewhere on the lines of formal lessons. Go take lessons. It's wonderful with the internet and YouTube, and you can have a source to get information. But use the source as a supplement to what you're trying to do, meaning that take lessons and then, go on YouTube and pick up a little more extra information. But don't let this be your only sole source of information for certain things, like trying to play an instrument. You don't know what you're doing. You're just going to watch this dude that knows what he's doing and think you're going to become someone like that dude, and you're not. And I'm going to read this because from time to time I get comments that I got to read on air because you guys got to hear this and you got to understand why this is not a good idea, And here it is. As you know, I do bass covers too, and I put the notes up there. And I do more guitar covers because I consider myself more of a guitar player than a bass player, even though I took bass lessons first. But I tend to like the guitar a little better. It's easier to put the chords across the screen. It's not a whole lot of chords. In some songs it is, but when it comes to the bass stuff, I'm not really a huge fan of doing those covers because you think that the guitar chords take a long time or 2-3 hours. Shit, the bass take longer because you got to match up every single note as you're playing alone. If you're not, you're going to hear it. So it's like I can't not miss notes and put in wrong notes because you'll hear it, So I enjoy doing them, but it's a labor of love, So, I did a typical bass cover and I had the notes across there. And this is this one guy. This is what he said. I had no idea what those letters meant. And I'm talking about the notes that I put in there as far as the bass notes. So that lets you know he's not taking formal lessons. He's took it upon himself to try to do this by himself. So let me read that again, that first line. I had no idea what those letters meant. I play by tabs. And you guys know how I feel about that tab nonsense. It's a poor man's cheat sheet. And I don't recommend you trying to take that route. Go get formal lessons. It's not extremely hard to play guitar, bass, and this is just a matter of opinion. The hardest instrument that I know of as far as just the normals, not the exotic stuff, piano, because both hands are just as important as each other. With guitar, I'm a right-handed. This hand means everything. The left hand. This don't mean shit because this hand follows this hand when you're playing guitar or bass. That's all. But piano, they're both equally important, and it's really, is it kind of the only tabulation or sheet music where you got notation for both hands. When you playing guitar, it's just chords. That's it. It ain't, this is what you got to do with this hand, or if you're left hand, this is what you got to do with this hand. So that's why I say, in my opinion, the piano is the hardest. Bass is the easiest unless you're trying to be James Jamerson or Victor Wooten, because I've gotten that comment. Oh, why you say bass? Because it is easier. Ask any bass player. Now, again, I'm not talking complex bass playing, I'm talking about just kind of the standard pop stuff, so that's why I say that. But it says, I play by tabs. Where can I find the tabs? I don't know, dude, because I don't support that way of playing. You make this look so easy. And my ears have me in the right places watching your hands. But I have no sense of music theory whatsoever. It's time to go get lessons then, dude. It's kind of like saying this, and I wrote this down so I didn't forget it. If you want to be a brain surgeon, but you would like to become a brain surgeon, but you don't want to go to med school. And how ridiculous is that? And it's kind of the same on a much lower level as it is with this. You want to learn how to play, but you won't go get lessons. It's very important that you go get formal lessons. Because, again, I stress this 100 times and over. You are not going to become a good musician by watching good musicians' hands. You're not. But there's some people that believe that. They honestly believe that. And because I wrote some other stuff time. This is the best time, I think, in any era to learn how to play. And the reason being is, as time progresses, unfortunately, some things get easier to do. Or they make them easier. And easy in a sense is good sometimes, but easy is not good when they're just giving you the easy stuff and not giving you everything. The hard stuff, the middle stuff, and the easy stuff. And that's just straight easy stuff. You know, being a musician myself of over 30 plus years, being a professional recording artist, that I've seen a lot of easy stuff, but I've seen more hard stuff. And I like the hard stuff, the Earth, Wind, and Fires, the Luther Vandrosses, because they make you work. If you get a handle on the hard stuff, the easy stuff is going to be a cakewalk. It's like, okay, this is just a couple of major and minor chords, you know, and still augmented, changing keys, diminished chords, certain tempos, speed, you know, chords coming at you every other bar, you know, instead of you got these R&B songs now where you just sit on a minor 7 chord and rock back and forth. You know, you got a whole lot of time before you play the other chord, and then you go back to the first chord, then you go back to the second chord. That's a piece of cake, as opposed to jazz or standard stuff, where every couple of bars you changing chords, you know. So just want to make sure. Yeah, this is the easiest time in music history because you're playing a lot of easy stuff. You know, it's real easy stuff. It's not hard. So if you can't cut the mustard in this day and age with this easy stuff on the radio with just 3 chords in the entire song, maybe you need to go take up another hobby or another love interest, you know, as far as, you know, the things you wanted to do. But I just did the Platters, Only You. And I love 50 stuff. I mean, I love the format. Love 60 stuff. 70s was good, but I love 60 stuff. You know, I'm a 60s child. And back then, especially in the 50s, it was very common to see a bunch of diminished chords in these songs. And I'm not talking jazz songs. I'm talking popular songs of the day. Soul songs, pop songs, and a lot of 7 chords, which I love that sound of 7 and major 7 chords. And now, stuff you hear on the radio now, you ain't gonna hear no diminished chords. You're gonna hear like 2 chords. 3 if you're lucky. You might have 3 chords in this entire song. Like I told you, Justin Timberlake's song, I forgot the name of it, was off the last album, The Love Sexy, whatever. There was this song that had 5 writers being accredited to the song. And the song only had 1 chord in it. I said to myself, why does it take 5 guys to write a 1 chord song? And I'm like, well, maybe they were struggling with lyrics. And I'm like, 99% of the songs I've written and that have been published, I've written all the lyrics. 99? Yeah, 99. I remember the one song that one of the vocalists wrote in a verse. That was it. You know, but I'm like, if you're struggling to take 5 dudes in one room to do a 1 chord song, what does that tell you? You know? And I'm not trying to be harsh or knocking Justin Timberlake. I think he's a fantastic talent. And this statement is not nothing negative towards him. It's just that I'm making an example of giving you guys an example of how easy things are now. And if you can't cut the mustard in the easy era, you know, maybe this ain't for you. But that particular song, The Platters, I sat down and listened to it. So you know what? Because I had the sheet music, but it was they had 8 different versions of the key. And then the version that they tabbed or sheet music out, it was a different version. Because that's a song that I think a couple other people covered. So you know what, I can do this, and I did it. And I did an extremely good job of it. You know, even hearing the diminished chords. Actually, it didn't have a diminished chord. It had a 9th chord, which sometimes sounds like a diminished chord to me. Because there are a couple of chords just by ear that I can hear, and I know what they are. I'm like, okay, that's a 7th chord. I hear major 7 chord. The major and minors are not hard to decipher when I'm listening. But I was proud of myself because I said, I don't need the sheet music. I can actually do this myself. And that's not a super easy song to do. And the way that it's structured is only a 3-minute, 13-second song. There was a lot of good movement. It wasn't just, okay, sit here, sit there, and we're done. Just rocking back and forth. Like, no. Each time it went into the verse, I ain't going to get into that. But anyway, I just thought I would post this because, You guys gotta go get lessons, man. Don't sit here and watch Morris Man Fingers and complain about bad camera angles and I can't see what shape you're using. You should already know that. The videos that I do are for you guys to just take the chords. You know, that's it. It's not watching Morris Man Fingers. I'm giving you the chords. And it's like, okay, that's all because that's all that professional musicians get. They don't get, well, you know, use this and put your finger here. You know, when a Quincy Jones, when you're working with a Quincy Jones, he gives you your part. You don't make your part up. He's already given, and they hand out the sheet music, and you got to be able to play your part. You know, music is a language. And if you want to speak the language, you got to learn the language. You know, you can't get around that, or you trying to gesture and tell people what you want. I want to, you know, I'm hungry. None of that. You know, there's a language. You need to read the language in order to speak the language and interact with the people that knows the language. You know, I'll do a series of these types of videos with the main theme being go get lessons. You know, I stress that, you know, if you take shortcuts, it shows. And you're only hurting yourself when you take shortcuts. And you don't want a program to give you shortcuts. You want one to make it as easy as possible, but yet still give you the same information that you need. And still, I'm going to omit this. Don't worry about this. Whenever you see this, just don't do it. Jump to something totally different, you know, that's easy and stay on easy street. At some point in time, you got to cross that hard bridge, you know, in order to just do what you're supposed to do instead of always ducking and dodging and half doing it and not doing it. You don't want to live like that, especially when you don't have to. It's not extremely difficult to be formally trained. It's not. Now, I'm not saying be the world greatest song, sheet music reader and know everything, because I don't know everything, but I know enough, well enough to get the job done on a professional level. And it's not extremely difficult. The only thing is you just got to put the time in. You know, if I teach you something today, you're not going to really click on it, you know, comfortably today. It's going to take you days and weeks and maybe months, but at least I've given you what you need to learn so you can become a good musician, you know, and you do have to put time in. You know, this is not going to happen in 30 days, 6-pack abs. And let me share the story with that. You see these people, they make these unbelievable transformations in 90 days, and a handful do, but the majority, this is what they do. And it blew me away when I found this out. Like, man, really, they lying like this? Like, yeah, they lying like this. They go get people originally that are already genetically designed to not hold a lot of body fat. There's just some people they can eat all day. They don't get big bellies and flabby arms and nothing like that. And some of them don't even go to the gym. They just been genetically made up to stay a certain size. Their body just don't accumulate or pack on a lot of weight. They go get those guys, fatten them up. Yeah, fattening them up, put them on a fat diet and they get bigger. And then they take that before picture of the fat guy after they fatten up the thin guy. And then when he lose that weight naturally and come off of that garbage diet, then they take his picture, and that's how he looked at that first. But you don't see him at first. You see him in the second stage when they fatten him up. And again, once he come off that garbage diet or go back to exercising or whatever, then they take that other picture. So in essence, they're lying to you. The guy that you see that lost all that weight, he had already had that kind of weight off at first. Then again, they fatten them up, and they do that with the women. They go with women that just had babies, and they got that baby fat. And most of the women, especially when you have your child young, once you have your child, that weight goes away. You know, it goes away naturally. And then they take their picture, you know, as far as to say, oh, she was on this diet and she lost that weight. No, she lost baby fat. So it's amazing the deception out there, and companies just don't want to be straight out being forward and honest with you. Because when I seen that and found out that blew me away. Like, I would have never thought that. I would have never thought that that's what they did. You know, it ain't got nothing to do with the diet. It's just that these people originally were designed to not, you know, one of them fortunate people that don't gain a lot of weight, you know. So I'm going to sign off now, but I'm just going to leave you guys with this. Go get formal lessons. Stop trying to take shortcuts, watching Morris Man and other guys' fingers that are professionals, then complain about the camera. I can't see your fingers. You don't supposed to be looking at my fingers. You're supposed to be looking at them chords running across that screen, because that's all you're supposed to need to get the job done. Instead of You want finger placements on every node and every finger, you know. Go get lessons and pay somebody, you know. Don't expect to get stuff for free when you a grown-ass man asking another grown-ass man for something that you don't want to pay for. Don't go that route neither, you know. Don't shame your family or your parents, because back in the old days, you were a and actually today, but people don't obey by that now. You were a representation of your parents. You know, you're supposed to show the world that your parents did a good job, because that's my motto. Mama did a good job, you know. And still of your poor representation, and it's due to no fault of your own because they didn't teach you. And I'm gonna do this in another video, because it's something that you guys got to hear, because it's just sad. But anyway, till next time, take care and thanks for watching.